questions about Brooklyn and how they are operating in the future, because I remember on this very program last year, we talked about the Brooklyn Nets having 5 picks. They used all of them. We went through every single scenario as to what they could do to get better with those picks, and they used all of them. And yet, how did they finish? How did they perform? So this year, Mike, they have an opportunity to take a star in Darius Acuff. I'm not saying Michael Brown is not a star, but is that not a miss in your opinion?
I'm going to do something on TV here, and I'm going to pass it to a teammate because I'm telling you.
I was going to go to Noah first,
You don't want to ask me that question because my take on this situation will be so lukewarm compared to.
Oh, but Noah had.
Okay, Noah, we're passing it to you then.
I appreciate the pass. You are a point guard first, so that's good.
That's
I
right.
played shooting guard. So, okay. I don't want to go off on like a crazy rant here because like Michael Brown Jr. is a good basketball player. This
100%.
has a little to do with him and more to do with the Nets front office's incompetency. Like because I can't get over, you mentioned it, 5 first-round draft picks last year. Ace Bailey was looking at Brooklyn. He was looking at Washington, D.C. Did you need to take all 5 first-round draft picks? Was there no way to consolidate as many as 3 picks to try to go get a guy like Ace Bailey? I think there was a way. They didn't do it. They drafted 5 guys that, let's be honest here, are not surefire guys. None of those guys drafted last year, any fan in the Brooklyn Nets organization looked at and went, that's our guy. We got our guy. We know about the future. And don't give me the Demon thing. Giving me the Demon thing, I don't want it because he's not Darius Acuff. He's not what Ace Bailey would have been last year. So then you come into this draft and you have the 6th pick. Everybody that did a mock draft put Darius Acuff as the 5th best player on their board. I don't know if there's one person that said he wasn't. What that tells me is that Darius Acuff was a surefire. There was little to no risk with Darius Acuff, and he dropped out of 5th because of the size mismatch with Darius Garland with Los Angeles. And at number 6, it's insane to me for them to go a little bit more risky with a guy like Michael Brown Jr., who missed 14 games, had a back injury that literally publicly said, hey guys, I couldn't even get out of bed 3 months ago. That's concerning. Is it a red flag for that? I think it's a multiple red flags. When you could have just taken the surefire guy that you didn't get last year in 5 chances. So now your 6th chance, you get a do-over. Do you remember when the Arizona Cardinals took Josh Rosen? And then the next year they were like, we don't like this guy. How about Kyler Murray? Now that we got the number 1 overall pick again. The Brooklyn Nets were granted a redo, and they failed. And Michael Brown Jr. may be amazing. He might be amazing. And again, it's not him. It's the front office, because Sean Marks has been at this since 2016. I can't name you one guy that's been a starter that they drafted. Go back to Nick Claxton. He was a 2nd-round pick in 2019. They just traded him. So they don't have any first-round picks that have started or draft picks that are currently starters for them. And if it wasn't for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving opting for relevancy to go to the Brooklyn Nets would be completely irrelevant for an even longer duration of time.
I mean, but they kind of are, though. I mean, like, you think about the Knicks and how popular they are, and like Brooklyn was 20-62 last year.
Can I just finish one thing? I say all that to say, the surefire was Darius Acuff, and they didn't take the surefire guy, and he's in Sacramento, a guy that is 44% from 3, a bully as a guard. You know all the numbers about Darius Acuff. He's a dude. He's the guy you want to build your franchise around. I don't want to hear a thing about his defense. I don't care. There's less risk with him than there is with Michael Brown Jr., and the Nets opted to pass up on him, and we've seen before. Let me just quickly say this. Donovan Mitchell slipped to 13th. In that draft, Dallas took Dennis Smith Jr., 9th overall. Emmanuel Mudiay was selected 7th before Devin Booker in his draft. Jimmer Fredette was taken over Kawhi Leonard. Steph Curry was passed on 2 times in a row by Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We see this time and time again. The Brooklyn Nets are no different from falling into the same type of trap that those examples I just
That is aggressive revisionist history. Aggressive.
Well, it's time to be aggressive with Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets. Enough is enough, is it not?
That's the Italian coming out. Enough is enough.
To bring us back down to room temperature, I actually think Michael Brown's really good. Okay, so let's pump the brakes a little bit.
You seem to shudder when he referred to it as a failure. You think
that to me is a
I just think the Brooklyn Nets are embarrassing. It's little to do with Michael Brown Jr., and it's a lot more to do with the decision makers who were clapping and cheering as if they did just get a guy that did what Darius Acuff did, played all 36 games, averaged 24 a night, shot nearly 50%. Michael Brown Jr. didn't do that, and they were cheering in that draft room. That war room as if they got the guy they should have got, and they passed on him. That's my whole thing, is he's on the board. He was 5th in your mock. He's 5th in my mock. He's 5th on your board. He's 5th on everybody's board.
Yes.
They passed on him. I don't know what other way to frame it than that's a miss.
You're framing it that it's a bad pick.
No, I'm not. I'm framing it that because they didn't take the best player on the board, it's more of the decision makers' mindset to not just take the surefire guy after missing 5 times last year. You don't know that Michael Brown Jr. is a surefire. You know Darius Acuff is. That's my point. Take the surefire, less risk. You get a little bit more risky with a guy like Michael Brown Jr. That's it. That doesn't mean it's a bad pick. But for the fan bases and for the front office and for the people involved in Brooklyn, that are all the Brooklyn fans are New York Knicks fans now. They didn't give him much hope yesterday, unless you love Michael Brown Jr., that you passed on Darius Acuff, a surefire.
Speaking of passing,